Well, welcome back to the Newsman Weekly. Joining us now, as promised, Beau Roberts, star of...
Who'd you promise that to?
Everybody.
Okay.
All right, there is star of local stage and screen. Good morning, Beau. Thanks for joining us, and thanks for getting up so damn early.
Thanks for having us. I was up already. What are you talking about? I gotta work at like 8 o'clock and 8:30 in the morning.
All right, full disclosure, folks. I have known this multi-talented man for a long time. I've tried and failed in the past to get him on this show. He's too damn modest for his own good.
He's hard to book.
He is. He's very hard to book. But I am thrilled he's with us today. All right, but let's start with your current acting project at the Renaissance Theater as Nathan Detroit in Guys and Dolls, a rollicking musical comedy. The show opened over the weekend, and you've got 2 more performances coming up, August 8th and 9th. Tell us about the show. What attracted you to the role of Nathan Detroit, and how was that first weekend?
Let's see. The first weekend was really well received. It's a very high-end production-wise, lighting-wise, sound, the talent that we've got involved with that. The character himself, I don't know, it's just a fun character to play. I'm not used to playing, the everyman. That's not my kind of role, I guess. Mm-hmm. So if I can find a lead character that is as colorful as he is, I'm going to take it.
Now, there's some great music in the show. What are some of your favorite songs from this?
Well, you've got Luck Be a Lady is always a crowd pleaser, and it's just a great song to begin with. There's one song that I'm involved with called Sue Me, which is kind of a couple arguing back and forth almost, which is fun to play.
Yeah, in the journalism business, we hate those 2 words.
What?
Sue me.
Oh. But those are a couple of the songs that I enjoy.
Now, I know when you posted about that you were going to play this role, some of the things you liked is not a ton of singing and not a ton of dancing, but some good comedy. Is that kind of...
Well, yeah, I'm always drawn to comedy, but I like drama stuff also. But no, what I posted more accurately was...
Well, thank you. I don't want to misquote you.
Journalism, right, yeah. Thank you.
Sue me.
Please do. No, the role it's heavy. I would describe it heavy on acting, not so heavy on singing. I don't mind singing. I like, but there's a lot of extra work when the more songs you have. Right. And then dancing, I don't know. I have 2 left feet. It takes me a lot longer to learn the choreography than probably most people. We let the younger folks take care of that. Yeah, they got better moves anyway.
There is a lot of dancing in this show. I realize it might not involve you, but there's a lot of feet shuffling around.
Yeah, and it's really impressive work.
All right. Now, you've been in several movies, feature length and short form. Now, transitioning from a film set to live theater has got to be interesting. What's the single biggest difference between a director shouting action and a Mansfield audience crunching popcorn in the front row while you're performing on stage?
I suppose the biggest difference is with film acting, when you hear action, there's a lot of pressure because there's not a whole lot of prep time. You don't get a whole lot of time to rehearse with anybody or in the space that you're in. And at the same time, you don't want to be eaten up all the time because film is a very tight schedule. You might be working 12 hours a day, but you got to get a lot done in those 12 hours. And I don't know, there's a lot of pressure in that. Whereas I'm not saying there isn't pressure in stage acting. There certainly is. But you have so much more time to prepare for that.
One of the things I noticed, and I'm sure you've seen this, the limited film stuff that I've done, there's a lot of hurry up and wait. Get to a particular point and then wait because production's got to set up.
I mean, if there was one con to film acting, I'd say that might be one of them, is just a lot of sitting around doing nothing. I mean, obviously you can kind of run your lines and kind of think about it, but after 5 hours of that, you're like, man, I just want to book or take a nap or something.
Carl, I didn't know you had a filmography.
I do.
Yeah.
Do you have a IMDb page?
I do. Yeah. I was in The Rage.
Oh, there it is.
Oh, that's right.
Here it is.
I played a squib-headed freak.
No picture on his IMDb page, of course.
And then there's some film that I did briefly with Beau. I just played like a really small part. I don't even know if it's out yet, where we played the
Heartland Horror Chronicles.
Yeah,
the Heartland Horror Chronicles. That's a trilogy that was filmed locally, and those should be coming out this fall.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I think last I heard, they're gonna kind of schedule them out like 2 weeks apart, so they're all gonna be done, just released at different
Netflix or
times.
HBO?
I can
Apple
tell you
TV,
right
yeah.
now.
I just remember my job was to push a casket on wheels
Okay,
out
I
to the
remember
hearse.
the casket.
Out to the hearse.
That's
And
right.
that-
I forgot about that.
That was my job, and it was really hot that day.
It was really hot.
No lines.
No,
You just
they-
had to push.
Who would ever give me a film speaking role? I mean, even in the Rage, all I did was grunt. I mean,
That's fair.
but yeah, that was 12 hours a day for 3 days, and I was on screen for probably 30 seconds.
And how long were you there pushing the casket around?
We took all day. I mean, you know,
Yeah.
we got there that day, and they were delayed somewhere else that they were shooting, and then by the time they got there, it's like
I mean, there's less of that. You know, obviously, the bigger role that you have, that
Right.
you're gonna be on set, you know, most of the time. But
And I-
yeah, for some of those minor roles, which is usually what I play, there's a lot sitting around.
all right. Before we
I'm not gonna complain about it. Don't get me wrong.
No, hell no. Well, but let's step back a little bit. Tell us about young Beau Roberts. Where'd you grow up? Where'd you go to school?
I was born in Mansfield General Hospital.
Yep.
Grew up in Mansfield. Went to school, Lexington Schools. My dad was a teacher there. My mom was a teacher at St. Pete's. So I grew up with teachers.
So how did you decide what pushed you to get into acting? And I know you've worked for like the last 3 decades as a videographer and editor at DRM Productions. Where did the acting and the film stuff come
The
in?
acting probably was the first thing that grabbed me as a kid. I had my folks largely pushed me into trying different things, and that was one of them. The first show I tried out for was at, I think it was a Renaissance Mansfield Playhouse collaborative production of Sound and Music. I did not get cast. My brother got cast. And but the next show I tried out for was at the Mansfield Playhouse. I was probably 10.
Okay.
It was the best Christmas pageant ever,
And I think
directed by Millie Leverton.
Oh, Millie, I've been
And
in
as a child, she terrified me.
well, I was in shows that Millie directed as an adult, and she terrified me.
Well, funny thing is, as an adult, the first show I did was at the Playhouse, was with Millie directing again. And she was a lot less scary, but she was a battle axe. I liked that about her, that she was very tough.
I mean, Millie was, for those who don't remember the late, great Millie Leverton, she was like 4'10".
Oh, God, yeah.
She was really short. But we had done, the first main stage show I did was called What's Wrong with This Picture? And it should have been What's Wrong with This Script? And the answer would be everything, because it was supposed to be a dark comedy, but it's not funny at all. And we were down in the green room right before opening, and Millie gathers us together, and she goes, I've never directed a comedy where nobody laughed. This might be the first. Good luck. And then she left the theater.
I think we were like mid-rehearsal for some. I couldn't even tell you what show, and she was just frustrated, and she just left. She was like, "I'm out. And she goes, I'm gonna have a cigarette." And so she would just leave, and we were like, "I guess we'll keep going."
Millie was a trip. I learned a lot from her, and she literally scared me as an adult. But so what about videography and editing? Where did that background come from, and how did you get into doing
like
that?
late junior high school, early high school. A friend of mine named Brad Palmer, we were good buddies, and his parents had a camcorder, and I had never been around such technology, really.
Was this the old hold on top of your shoulder camcorder thing?
More or less, yeah.
Those
There
were
were
heavy.
tapes, there were videotapes.
But you put the cassette in the
Correct.
camcorder.
Yeah. And we would just, on the weekends, we would make these stupid little films, just having a good time, not thinking, and that kind of grew into us making a little more sophisticated films through high school and then through college. And I don't know, I loved that art form.
Where'd you go to college?
I went to Bowling Green State University.
And what was your
Majored in film studies, which pretty much qualifies me to watch a movie and write a paper about it. So the degree itself is, I don't know, it's kind of worthless, I want to say. But the experience and the, kind of the stuff I got to work with in college was really helpful.
Now, talk about that experience as a videographer and editor. How does that experience behind the camera influence your work as an actor when you're in front of the camera? Are you thinking as a filmmaker at the same time you're thinking as an actor, or how do those come together?
Well, I mean, if you're going to do film acting, it really helps to know the process and kind of the decisions they get made into like camera placement and where your actors need to stand. So that's been very helpful for me, knowing those things. Even knowing a bit about editing, like, okay, I know, continuity-wise is always a big thing with film, and just knowing how this could possibly be put together and what they might need for that. So,
what's the biggest, and I'll preface this by telling you what I experienced, the biggest continuity mistake I ever saw when we were filming The Rage. We'd been in the evil mad scientist laboratory for like 7 hours. And Bob Kurtzman was the director of this, and he's also, leading everything. And I'm over in the cage with Matt Jerems and another squib-headed freak, and all of a sudden I hear Bob go, "Where the hell did this Coke can come from, and how long has it been here?" Because suddenly we've got this Russian mad scientist with a Coke can.
Product placement.
Yeah, he's like, "Where did?"
Yeah.
So
were you working with film, or was it digital?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
It was over
film. That's a little trickier to go back through and check.
Well, I mean, I don't know how they did it, but we stopped for a little while they figured out how long it had been there, and I don't remember if we had to reshoot anything, but yeah, it's like, where the hell did this Coke can come? It's like, uh-oh. And I didn't know exactly what was going on because I'm still really green at all this, but everybody looked frightened all of a sudden because Bob's really mad.
Well, that's probably because, it's probably not that easy to get rid of such an object, if it's in your show.
What's the worst continuity thing you've experienced along those lines or anything like that?
The stuff I've been involved with, I can't think of anything off the top of my head.
It's because you're working with competent people, not with me. I mean,
could be.
I never told him I was the one that left the Coke can there, but that's okay.
Did you leave the Coke can? He's going to listen to this, and he's going to come after you.
Yeah, he might.
This might be a dumb question, but do you ever still shoot with film?
No.
Just for fun?
No, I shot one thing in college. I was like, man, I want to use film once. And it was such a hassle to, A, get the film.
Yeah.
And then B, get it developed. I think I had to buy the film from France. I had to have it ordered and shipped into this camera shop that was in town. And then to get it developed, I think we had to send it to California to get it developed. Wow. This was like Super 8 film, so I don't know how, I can imagine 35 millimeters is probably astronomical.
Well, I will tell you, back in the day when I started out in this business, we still had film and cameras, obviously. Mm-hmm. And when I was at the News Journal, my budget for film and chemistry was like $25,000 a year just for film and chemistry for the photographers that we had, because we had like 6 at the time. But then they went digital. Gannett went digital. I said, great. I don't have to. That's $25,000 I can put towards something else. And they said, no. That money goes in other places. Now, you don't need it. It's out of your budget. But you do have to pay for the 3 or 4 digital cameras that you're going to get. And when they first came out, they're like $15,000. So.
Oh, yeah.
It was film. I learned how to develop film in a darkroom, which is a interesting proposition altogether. But choosing not to work in film is probably a good thing, Beau.
It's really expensive, and I don't know that nowadays digital looks equally as nice.
Yeah, that was the big thing photographers complained about early, was digital's not going to look as good as film.
And initially that was probably true, but now, I mean,
yeah, but see, it'd be interesting because
a long way.
Because I tell them when you go out and shoot a football game, I'm like, look, one roll, 36 exposures. That's all you get, because I'm not spending 5 rolls of film when we're going to use one picture from the game. So once they were told, you can take as many pictures as you want, and now we're going to run 40 pictures because we have a website. So fire away.
Well, and I'm going to preface it by saying I'm not a patient person, but I've had to learn how to be patient when I do video editing. So I'm going to ask you, when did you, because you also mentioned too, when you're doing filmmaking, that there could be a lot of sitting around, right? You'd rather be free. So inherently you have to be patient. So how have you become tolerant of having to be patient, or how have you learned to be patient? Because almost everything that you're involved in now requires some level of patience.
Well, I've come to realize that the longer you're, as an actor, you're sitting around, waiting around, usually the better the film ends up looking, because they are taking the time to, scrutinize and get everything just right. So that's part of it. I'm like, yes, it's a hassle sometimes, but in the end, if it's going to look great, then it's worth sitting around for.
If they're going too fast, you're probably skeptical.
Maybe, it depends, but by and large, the longer it takes, usually the nicer it looks.
Yeah. Now, tell us about some of your recent acting film roles. I mean, I watched it the other day, The Weatherman Who Knew Too Much.
The Weatherman Who Knew Too Much, they just kind of released it to the public on Friday, this past Friday.
Mm-hmm.
So I was trying to share it a little bit.
Blood and Rust?
Blood and Rust, that is out on, let's see.
I think is it on Tubi? Tubi.
It's on Tubi. It's on Cranked Up Films, or Cranked Up TV, which is the streaming out of Good Deed out of Ashland.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not sure it's one other place, and I can't remember off the top of my head.
So
it's terrible of me.
How does that process work when a film is going to open up and be shot and involved? What draws you to those projects? Where is there a network now where you've been involved in enough things that they say, hey, somebody call Beau?
Yes, that is exactly how it works. Yep. It's funny. I didn't get into film work much around here. One person talks to another, and then they recommend you, and then you meet people through that project who work on other projects, and it kind of cascades like that. So I've been fortunate enough that people keep thinking of me, at least to... I really haven't seeked out much film work. I don't audition for much unless somebody asks me.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not real proactive about it because I don't have so much time. I have a day job, so it's tough to get away to do film work.
But obviously, you're somebody that it's difficult sometimes, whether you're in a cast or whether you're in a movie, to everybody get along with each other and egos get checked at the door. You're clearly somebody that's been easy to work with, or they wouldn't keep looking for you.
I like to think that I'm dependable and that I'll deliver on what is expected of me, I suppose. And I don't know, I seem to get along with most people. I don't try to ruffle too many feathers. I don't burn bridges. I'm not problematic, usually.
Not a diva.
I'm sure I have my moments. There's exceptions to everything.
Now, I know you've done everything on stage, from Shakespeare and drama to...
I haven't done Shakespeare, actually.
You haven't done... Didn't you see?
I've seen several, and I know the Shakespeare company in town does things, and it's one of these days I will, but it just hasn't worked out.
Yeah, I listen to it, and I don't understand it, so there's no way I could ever memorize those lines, because I have a hard time memorizing
I think it's
words.
when you're memorizing, you're going to take a deeper dive into what it is you're saying and how you're going to say it, so you'll have a better understanding. But I totally get that. Going to see some Shakespeare or any kind of lyrical type of scripted thing is kind of tough to wrap your head around. By the time you figure out what they just said, they've said 5 other things.
Now, but you've also done, obviously, high-energy musical comedy. From your standpoint, is it harder to make an audience laugh or cry?
Is it harder to make them laugh or cry? I don't know. I haven't made them cry much. Every now and again, I'll find a role that lends itself to that, but I don't know.
All right? Well, let me rephrase. What's the key in your mind to making an audience laugh? Is it physical comedy? Is it the words you're saying? Facial expressions? You're the king of facial expressions.
Part of it's the writing. I mean, some jokes are funny, some are just not. And actually, I kind of like the challenge of taking a not funny joke and trying to make it funny. It doesn't always work. But timing is a big thing, for sure. Inflection is a big thing. There's some physical stuff, too, that goes along with it. It just depends on what is on the written page, I guess.
Now, I don't remember the show. I was a replacement in the cast when someone got injured, but it was at the Playhouse. I think Mark Jordan was directing it. And it was a play within a play. Was it?
It was Drop Dead.
Drop Dead.
Yeah.
And there were, this is going to be
it's
tough.
A hilarious show, by the way.
It is.
A hilarious cast.
There's furniture painted on the walls. And I don't know whether this was a direction from Mark or you did this on your own, but at some point, Beau walks over
Go ahead.
and sits in the chair on the wall by crossing his leg and crossing his arms. Like I said, I don't know whether there's a direction or whether you just did it. But
I'm sure it was in the script. Like
Is-
the character goes and quote sits on the chair.
Yeah,
So,
but you did it in a way that's like, if I had tried to do it, I would have fallen
It was
down.
painful. Have you ever tried to
Wall
sit
sits.
against the wall?
It's like a wall sit.
My one leg was just so. I had to just sit there for like 2 minutes or so.
I watched that. I'm like, I'm ready to bust a gut laughing
dedication to
because you
craft.
did it perfectly. And like I said, if that had been me, I'd have been there for 3 seconds. and
Anything
then-
for a laugh, Carl.
Yeah.
I've worn some pretty ridiculous stuff for a laugh.
All right. So you're talking about you got a full-time job. How do you balance your time between acting gigs and all the work you got to do at DRM?
Well, DRM is Monday through Friday. Usually I'm there by 4:30 or 5 o'clock. So for plays and musicals and such, it's not a problem. That's usually evening rehearsals.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it doesn't eat up my whole day,
Yeah.
but it's doable.
So you work
My
all
yard
day?
doesn't get mowed as nearly as often. The dishes don't get done, and my house is a mess. But priorities,
Gotta have priorities. Well, speaking about DRM, what's some of the most challenging or rewarding aspects of doing work as a videographer in this town? I know you've done a lot of projects for various companies and governments and people. And
Well, you kind of touched on what I like about it is I get to go to all kinds of different places, meet all kinds of different people. I like film work. I like filming things, and I don't know, it just pushes all the right buttons, I guess.
yeah, what's the most challenging video or, that you've had that you had to shoot or edit in terms of putting it together?
Challenging.
I know you did the one for the Richland County annual whatever, and that took months of different things.
Yeah,
you
that
had
was
to do.
time consuming, and there was a few weekends where I'd have to work. I was working this past weekend on top of the shows, and
And not doing your dishes.
you
and
know
mowing
what?
your yard
Well,
and-
I either have everything going on or nothing going on. It's weird. I don't like to be idle too long. What were we talking about? I went on a tangent there.
Yeah, you know what? I'm completely lost.
Okay.
Lost.
Move
Anyway,
forward.
let's go forward.
Okay.
How has growing up in the Mansfield area kind of helped shape your career, both in theater, film, video? I mean, what was it like growing up for you in the Mansfield area?
What was it like growing up?
Yeah.
There were no shortage of opportunities to do creative things, I suppose. My folks were both very open to whatever I wanted to kind of get involved with. They steered me here and there, but we were talking about my friend's parents had that video camera.
Mm-hmm.
I eventually got one of my own and started doing my own little things with that. I don't know. I lived in the suburbs of Mansfield, running around with neighborhood kids,
So not
getting into trouble. Not too much trouble.
not a dramatically troubled childhood that
No.
steered you away from the mean streets of Lexington.
No, I had a very nice upbringing. I have no complaints about that.
Right.
It's not terribly dramatic or interesting, but it's
What
that's
year
a good thing.
What
right?
year did you graduate from Lexington?
1993.
1993. Let's see, I had moved to town in '90, so I was still around then. Now, when you talk to aspiring actors who'd like to try something in the theater or film, what kind of advice would you give those folks if they're just starting out?
Learn your lines. That's like one of your main responsibilities is to learn your lines. As soon as I get a script, I start learning my line. And I set a deadline for yourself, so you've got some time to play with it before you have to perform the thing with film or with stage acting. Be on time. Be early, actually, if you can. I don't know. Learn from others. Learn how to act off stage as well as on stage, and keep at it. I used to videotape myself during like Tech Week for early on, just because like you get some feedback, but I want to see what I'm doing, and some of that has been very helpful actually to do. That's all I got.
All right.
What about
Ran out of steam on it.
if I can interject, Carl?
Please.
Possibly advice, because I feel like a lot of people who may try to get into videography or filmmaking kind of have a similar thing where it's kind of all about that initial point where you at least have the equipment accessible to you and you get to mess around with it. There's a family friend of mine. He lives in Shelby now, and he's actually, he's a police officer, but in his free time, is trying to be a filmmaker, and he's working on something right now. But again, that's someone who, when I was younger, I was around him, and he would just make funny videos of anything or what we thought was funny at the time. But what kind of advice would you give to aspiring people that are trying to find an entry point and trying to get used to the prospect of making a film?
In terms of like trying to make a living doing such a thing,
or even just in his example, it's a short film. I don't think he's trying to make a living off it, but trying to find that area in that space where he belongs. Or just anyone who wants to try it who maybe feels like it's not
film.
for them.
I don't know what else to tell you except make the thing.
Yeah,
just do it.
Stop sitting on your hands and do it. Yeah, see how it turns out. If it's terrible, either redo it or at least you gotta start doing it above everything else.
Yeah,
it's one thing to talk about stuff. It's another thing to go ahead and do it.
Yep. Now, something I saw you post on Facebook, I think, and I don't know whether you shot it or who shot it, but the 1997 drive-through.
I did not shoot that. I wasn't. That was 1987.
1987.
I wasn't not even at DRM by then. I don't know. We were getting rid of some old beta tapes, some old 3/4-inch videotape, and there's a few of those. I was like, man, this is pretty cool, like vintage stuff. It's historic. So I held on to it, and we transferred it to DVD, and I just had forgotten about it.
Yeah, that's cool when you're somebody driving through Mansfield. I think one of the coolest was on the Miracle Mile, Park Avenue, going through there, and you realize like 99.9% of that stuff's gone.
Yeah,
that shit, it ain't there anymore.
There's more videos coming. We're kind of, I kind of had it. I initially posted that from my personal social media.
Right.
I was like, man, this is. First of all, I was getting a lot of comments. I was like, I don't want all these notifications coming. So DRM needs, it's from DRM, so I think they need. But we've got some old commercials I found that we're going to be playing. I think we might have just put some out for Richard Mall from like 1983. Oh yeah, they're rough.
Well, and like
the mall was thriving though.
Well,
yeah, 1983. Yeah, I was thriving in 1983.
Yeah, you
I
were.
Just got out of college and.
What happened, Carl?
Yeah, you see it. I had kids, marriage, kids, journalism, jobs, alcohol. It's just all one big thing.
I like how you said that, the Miracle Mile one, that you can see a lot of difference. And then I also appreciated the one that's a stroll up the Woodland neighborhood where very little has changed, where I see one of the homes that I grew up in looking very much similar to it did in the film.
And the people in Woodland would like to see it that way for another 30 or 40 years. Isn't that right, Heiser?
Well, we're not a universal thing in Woodland, believe it or not.
All right. When you're getting ready to take the stage, whether it be at the Wren, the Playhouse, wherever, the show's going to start in 5 or 10 minutes, you're just about to step out. Do you have any kind of, and this is a dangerous question because the answer may be no. Do you have any sacred kind of pre-show ritual?
Honestly, yes, I do. I did it yesterday before a performance. What I like to do is I stand when they call places, or soon before they call places. For those who don't know, places is when you get in place and you get ready to do the show. But I like to stand right behind the curtain, the main curtain, and just kind of listen to the murmuring crowd out there and just kind of get my head in that space and just focus on what's coming up.
Because the whole key to that is once the show starts, you really can't let your mind wander. I mean, you've got to be in that moment.
Absolutely.
Or so I'm told. I mean, I don't experience
absolutely
that myself.
No. And even then, things happen.
When you first get your lines for a show, do you like kind of just dry read, like, or are you starting to like research your character right away, or talk about that a little bit?
What's the question?
Well, like when you first get your lines, do you immediately jump into character when you're reading, or do you read the lines a few times just like as if you're reading a story or a book, just to...
I usually read through it in my head. I don't do it out. If I do any sort of like out loud rehearsing on my own, it's got to be in whatever voice I'm planning to use for that particular character. Anytime I say those lines, I want to say it in that voice, in that mindset.
Do you ever stay in character, like just
like off stage,
like Daniel Day-Lewis?
No,
like just in character for
no,
weeks?
that's silly. I can turn it on and off as needed. I don't need to. Yeah.
Where do you get all your voices from? I mean, I've seen you do lots of different accents and things. How hard is it to? Because that's something I certainly cannot do. I mean, I can, if I have a couple of beers, I can go Southern again because that's what happens. But anything else, I can't do an English accent. I can't do a German accent, Italian. Where do you find that?
I usually go, there's a website, I'm trying to remember the name of it. It's like Accent Archive, but you can kind of click on any region in the world, and it'll have samples, this one paragraph they read, and they all read the same paragraph, and it's different, and they're just reading it like normal people, but you can hear the differences in the different dialects. So some of that, I'll take notes like, all right, they pronounce their E sound like this, and I'll jot that down, and then I'll go through a script with those notes, and I'll actually write out each line in my own phonetic writing.
Mm-hmm. Now, when you get that script, I know one thing I can't do. I can't really begin to memorize until we've blocked the show on it, because I tie lines to movement.
Okay.
So is that something that helps you, or can you actually begin to memorize even before?
Oh, I memorize this, like I say, as soon as I get the script.
Yeah, I have.
You know what I do? It's a little extra work, but it's so helpful. I will record, if there's a read-through of the play, like usually, most plays you have a read-through at the beginning. I'll just record that whole thing, and then I'll go through and cut out all my lines and leave space, and edit the scenes audio-wise, and I'll rehearse it that way. That way I can, there's space for my lines, so I can throw in my memorized stuff, and I can hear the cues for those lines, and I kind of know other people's lines on top of that. That's very helpful. And I can run lines. I don't need anybody else to run the lines. I can just hit it and drive my car and memorize my lines.
That's what I have Hayden for. Hayden helps me run lines for shows.
I was going to see now I can start just recording them, and I only got to do it with you once, Carl.
That would be nice. Well, certainly.
See, I don't know. Not on a road trip to Buc-ee's.
Yeah, we're going to Buc-ee's, and we're sitting in the back seat, and I was making him run lines for whatever that show was today. Yeah. As soon as it's over, I forget.
Characters over there.
Yeah, and not all of them interesting. No. All right, give me one weird special skill on your acting template that audiences would never guess you possess until you show it off on stage.
I had to sing an Italian opera once.
Italian opera?
In Italian.
Oh, jeez.
And most songs I can't remember the lyrics, but I remember every single lyric for that. I'm not going to do it here. But it was for Cats of all shows, if you believe that.
Yeah. Well, what was that like? I mean, that couldn't have been. I mean, do you speak Italian at all?
No. I didn't even know what I was singing. I actually looked up what I say. It didn't make any sense. Whatever the translation was, I'm like, all right, I'll sing these words. What is it about that? I don't even know if that's a skill. It's a one-off thing I had to do.
And if somebody asked you to do it today, I'm not going to ask you to do it today, but you literally could remember those lines, and somebody put a gun to your head and said, "Sing, damn it," you could.
I could sing that exact song I sung.
Yeah, man. All right, now actors.
Inuna tep. I'm not going to sing. I'll sing some of the lyrics. Inuna tepide note. Never mind. Let's move on.
So what did you just say?
Nobody wants to hear that.
I don't know what that is. Talk about, the best and worst audition you've been through in your career. I mean, in terms of, man, that really went well, and holy shit, they're never going to offer me this part because this.
It's funny. There's not so much, at least for me, like live auditioning nowadays. Now I can, you put up a video camera and record it that way, and it's a lot less pressure, I'll say that, and plus you can kind of you watch it and like, let me adjust this. So it's a little easier to do that nowadays. But boy, it's been so long.
So they don't do live editions like at the Ren. They
I don't.
Or is it a mix of both?
That might be a mix of both.
Okay.
The Playhouse, they still do the live auditions.
Yeah.
And
Well, yeah, it's just readings. You just reading. Go to page 26.
yeah.
Go up on stage with 2 other people. Read.
I usually try to research a show. If I'm going to try out for a show these days, I want to know what it's about. It's a lot of time to dedicate to something. I want to make sure it's something I'm going to enjoy. And if there's a part or two in there that I'd like to play.
Have you ever repeated a role?
Yeah. I never thought I would, but several roles I've repeated. One I did, the first one I repeated was from an Arsenic and Old Lace. I was Dr. Einstein. I had done it in high school. I was like, man, I can do a better job now. In high school, I was not that great of an actor. So I redid that role. Wilbur from Hairspray. I just love the character. I don't know. He's just a funny old man.
Yeah. Well, what was the experience? Because I know what happened with the show that I was in at the time, but think back to 2019, 20, and COVID hits, and all of a sudden live theater just becomes an impossibility. I mean, how did you get through that? What was that like for you? Were you in a show that got canceled? Were you in a show that got delayed?
Actually, when that hit, we were at the Renaissance. We were doing in the middle of a production of Rock of Ages. And we had done our first weekend, and I had left all my stuff, my personal stuff, my shoes and some other clothing.
Because you're coming back.
Right. Come back in a week. And COVID hit, and we had to cancel the second weekend. And all my stuff was there for like a month because you couldn't leave your house, even though I left my house.
Shh, don't tell anybody. All right.
I decided my job was, what was the...
Oh, you were essential.
Essential.
Yes.
Yeah,
essential.
I decided I was
Essential
essential.
workers.
How
Yeah,
about
it was
that?
essential. I didn't want to be essential, but
We were all in it together.
yeah, that's what everybody
Well, the
said.
advantage was I really couldn't work from home. I deal with large files, video
Yeah.
files. It's all on server. So I just went to the office, but nobody else was there. So I kind of had the whole place to myself, and it was nice.
Well, it's like coming in here. Larry Phillips, my boss, and I were usually the only ones here, and this is a big room at that
Sure.
time. IdeaWorks, now Richland Source. So, and he and I, we socially distance. I'm sure. I mean, there wasn't any issue there, but.
What a time.
All right. Every live theater veteran has experienced at least one kind of on-stage catastrophe, whether it be a prop that doesn't work, a costume that actually fails in some way,
Wardrobe malfunction.
wardrobe malfunction. What's something that when you look back on it, was a catastrophe at the time, but now it's funny? Or maybe it's not funny. Maybe it was just still a catastrophe.
Catastrophe. There was one show I was involved with where we had to stop the show. It was me and an actress. We were in the middle of a scene, and from the audience we hear, "House lights, house lights." So we kind of froze and looked at each other. Then they turned the house lights on. Well, somebody in the audience was having an attack of some sort. So we had to stop the show. The ambulance came, put the stretcher out, and so we're all down in the green room just, what do we do? And Gordy Wendling was our stage manager at the time, and he came down, and the first thing out of his mouth was he said, "Wow, you're knocking them dead tonight."
That's Gordy.
In the end, the gentleman was fine. It was just an episode of something, I don't know.
Yeah, I remember.
Not serious.
We were doing something on the second stage at the Playhouse, and I came off stage, and there's a small kitchen area there, and there's a sink, and there's a bat perched on top of this on the faucet. I said, "What's that bat doing here?" And I hope it stays there because there's like 75 people sitting right behind this little curtain. And sure enough, somebody said, "I'll get it." Well, now the bat flies
Oh, boy.
right out into the audience, and all of a sudden there's shrieks and yelling and.
Don't suppose you could play it off as an interactive part of the show.
I mean, I did that at the Malabar Farm once when we were doing Louie, and a bat flew by at eye level, but it's in a barn. You expect a bat. But fortunately, they shooed the thing out the front door, and the show went on after that. But, yeah.
We had a bat in the Renaissance during Sister Act. Poor Najee Rawls was standing on the stage singing the bat flew right at him, right at him. They freaked, but with the show went on, I don't know where the bat went off to, but
I mean, it's I love things that it's always, that's a good thing about live theater. You never know what exactly
it's a good and a
might
bad
happen.
thing too. I don't know.
Yeah.
There's one time I had this big monologue, and I was singing with the Mansfield orchestra. And it was kind of they had a projector. It was Wright Brothers, the story of the Wright Brothers. And it was just a big character monologue thing.
Mm-hmm.
And the very first, I could not remember the very first thing I said.
Oh.
And I just stood there. And luckily, the director of the orchestra at the time, he kind of leaned back. He's like, he like gave me the first two like words. And I was like, yes, okay, thank you. I was panicked.
Is there any worse feeling? And I don't know how often it's happened to you, but is there any worse feeling than it's your time to speak, it's your line, and you can't remember what it is?
Oh yeah, it's terrifying.
I mean,
I'm not too good at like coming up with stuff off the cuff. That's not my strongest skill set. And sometimes you don't know if did I drop the line or was the other person drop? And if you don't know at all, then it's happened a couple of times during rehearsal.
Yeah, it's terrifying to me. That's when I stop doing theater, that'll be the reason why, because the fear of not knowing what I'm.
And nobody wants to see that.
No,
the audience doesn't want to see that. They want us to succeed as much as we want to succeed.
I can't imagine you not having something to say, Carl.
Well, trust me, it's
pull something out of his butt.
We were doing Lombardi down in Mount Vernon several years ago, and the play opens with a spotlight clicks on. And Vince Lombardi's addressing the team, and he's got this football in his hand, and the spotlight clicked on, and I went,
crickets.
And I mean, I'm sure it was like 5 seconds, but it felt like 5 minutes before it finally clicked in the back of my head, because it's an opening monologue, and if I don't, I'm there by myself.
No,
if I don't get it, it's
supposed to set the tone.
Joe, I definitely did that night.
In the end, you flub on that. Even if it's during a live performance, the audience quickly forgets, and they're moving on just like you are. And
I think people are right. I think most of the time is, as long as there's not a long period of silence, the audience doesn't even know.
And as long as it's not like a continuing thing where you just keep foul up after foul up. I mean, the audience is pretty forgiving. It's a live theater.
I never had a moment big enough that even if I was silent, it would have mattered. I was in Oklahoma. I was the sheriff and Dream Curly. I just had to do a ballet dance.
Did you have chaps on?
The high school budget was not that advanced, Carl.
No,
we made do with
no buttless chaps.
I had a beard made of makeup too, because young Hayden wasn't growing facial hair.
Yeah, that's all right. All right, but when you're not rehearsing scenes, running lines, or making videos, I know you like to. You're a fan of the local music scene. Where are some of your places to go explore and hear music and hang out?
As of late, live music. I like going to the Mothership. I'll give them a shout out. It's a neat venue. Not like anything else around here for sure. I like going. I go downtown quite a bit. You'll find me at any of the given surrounding bars around the Brickyard.
The Phoenix, I will go ahead and give them a shout out.
Yeah.
Phoenix, Martinis. I mean, there's some clubhouse. I don't go to the clubhouse because that's like a younger crowd, I think.
I still go there. Like playing darts and.
Oh, come on, Carl.
Well, I go in there and I feel like I'm everybody's grandpa.
Well, you are.
Who's the old guy?
It's a fun role play sometimes.
Yeah, they don't care. I promise.
All right, for all the young thespians out there who are dreaming of stage and screen, tell me the unfiltered reality that you wish somebody had told you when you were getting started in this.
Unfiltered reality.
I like the I'm a word guy. I came up with unfiltered reality.
Yeah, that's good. You're so good you stumped me here.
Yeah. Or it could be filtered. I
don't know. Don't worry about how you look on stage. If you're going to worry about, that you look goofy on stage, a lot of roles call for that. And people don't necessarily think you're a goofy person because you're goofy on stage. You can't be as self-conscious. I still get self-conscious, but try to push that down.
Yeah. Got to repress that.
Yeah. I don't know, like I said, show up on time. know your stuff. If there's an issue, don't automatically take it to, the director, the stage manager. Try to figure it out. I mean, they got a lot on their plate. Everybody's got a lot on their plate. Do your job.
One thing I've always admired about you is you will take big roles like Nathan in Nathan Detroit in Guys and Dolls, but you'll also do some smaller parts. I mean, you did a thing in 1776.
I usually do smaller parts. I usually don't get the lead. I don't.
Well,
there's certain leads I like either in film or stage. Especially for musicals.
But when I saw you, and a funny thing happened on the way to the forum. I mean, you stole that show. There were guys on there who were like Emmy Award winning, Tony Award winning, and Beau Roberts stole that show.
Well, a lot of that is the writing. I can't take full credit for that because it's just a funny little part.
Dude, it was the walking, the physical presence, the timing. I mean, the words were minimal, and you just boom. I said, now
that part definitely was a gift. That's the most bang for your buck for the amount of lines I had, the amount of laughs I have. It's percentage-wise, it was pretty good.
When my wife and I were leaving that night, she goes, "God, I love Beau in that." And I said, she's never said that about anything I've been in, so it happens. All right, looking ahead, what projects are you working on, or do you want to take on in the future? What's the future look like after this?
I got nothing coming up. And I got nothing I'm eyeballing really. Like I say, the Heartland Horror Chronicles trilogy is going to be coming out, so I'll probably be posting about that. But I don't have any after Guys and Dolls. I'm really.
So directors, if you're out there, Beau Roberts might be interested. He's got some time on his hands once he gets his lawn mowed and his dishes done.
I do need some downtime.
Yeah.
I'll probably go take a vacation. I haven't had a vacation yet this year, and summer's almost over. Out loud.
It is. It's August. We talked about that earlier before you came in. That winter's almost here, and I hate winter, Beau.
I don't mind the fall though. I like Halloween.
Yes. Yeah. The problem is I know what's coming after. It's like driving a car
Stop
off.
Looking so far ahead
now.
Yeah. Stop. You can't think about that because then you'll be in it. Then you're miserable like 9 months out of the year.
Well, you just described me. I mean, that's the way it is.
Look on the bright side once in a while, will you, Carl? Good Lord. Would it kill you? Would it kill you to be positive once in a while?
It would.
It's
It's not his brand.
People think I'm a grumpy guy. I don't necessarily think that. Maybe I come across the way, but you have me beat by far.
Well, I've got many more years of grumpiness built into me, though. But
I'll get there.
What is? I don't know if you can answer this question. What's your favorite ever role? What's the best thing you've enjoyed the most?
Probably my favorite role. It's probably one of my favorite shows too. Is Of Mice and Men, which is not a comedy at all.
No,
I'm sure a lot of people know that. A lot of people read that for school. I certainly did. It's one of the few books I actually finished in high school from front to back because I thought it was that good. Yeah. But I got to play George Milton in that, and that was great.
Where did you do that show?
That was at the OSU Mansfield campus.
And what do you?
I think that's the last thing No, that's not the last thing I did there. That was a while ago though.
What did you like most about the role?
It's just first of all, I really like the story. The characters, a lot of emotional stuff. I mean, by the end of the thing, I hate to spoil it for anybody who hasn't seen Of Mice and Men, but
spoiler alert:
George has to kill his good friend Lenny because he's a menace, more or less. And it's just a really emotional moment. I had friends of mine coming up to me like, "Man, you made me cry." I'm like, "Good."
See, there you go. See,
did my job.
That goes back to the question I had earlier about which is it harder to make people cry or laugh? And there you made somebody cry.
I don't know, something about a man crying on stage, circumstances. It's just, I don't know. People get choked up about that kind of stuff.
All right.
Well, Carl, it's effortless. He makes me cry every day.
Oh, you deserve it. All right. Beau, thanks for coming in today.
I appreciate it. This was fun.
We'll have you back.
I could probably talk for another 5 minutes or so.
Folks, we are going to wrap up today's show on that note. Many thanks to Beau Roberts, star of stage, screen, and audio video, for joining us today. Thank you, Beau.
Thanks for having me. This was cool.
All right. Be with us next week when our guest will be Mansfield native Tom Jodrey, who recently looked into the 2012 kidnapping of Mansfield's Jennifer Hurst. He created a 3-part podcast called Passenger Seat. he'll join us and we'll talk about that work. But for now, thanks again to all of you for listening to the Newsman Weekly. I'll be back in a second to put a bow on this week's episode, but until then,
A bow.
a bow.
I see what you did there,
Yeah,
Carl.
thank you. Put a bow on it. Remember what author Mark Twain once said: if you tell the truth, you don't have to remember anything.